This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
He did the right thing for himself, and he did the right thing for the team, knowing the requirement and the commitment that's needed for the journey ahead.
Moving forward without Andrew Luck, we're live at the Colts complex as the team gets back to work in the new normal.
We do our best when government is done in the public view.
He vowed to overhaul an embattled veteran state agency. Call 6 Investigates is asking the director if he kept that promise.
It's worth it. It can and will save lives that way. The vaccines do.
Flu shots are already available. We're working for you to explain why doctors say you should get yours sooner than later. Tonight, Colts fans and the sports world are still reeling from the news of Andrew Luck's unexpected retirement, but the team has to keep moving forward.
And they were back at it again this afternoon for practice at the Colts complex, and Coach Reich addressed reporters. Sports director Dave First joins us there live. Dave.
A short week for the Colts, guys, because they've got their fourth and final preseason game coming up on Thursday down in Cincinnati. But still, it is the new normal here. When you come to the Colts complex, especially when you go into the Colts locker room now, there is an empty spot right next to Anthony Costanzo, the longtime offensive lineman for the Colts. That spot belonged to Andrew Luck. It does not belong to him anymore. Take a look at practice earlier today here at the complex, at all eyes on Jacoby. That's the new normal. But certainly shades of 2017, right, when he was brought in specifically to kind of help fill the void when Andrew was out. The question now is whether the team will make a move to bring in yet another quarterback to back up Jacoby. Odds are they will. Stay tuned for that. But Jacoby was one of the few who got a jump start on the news, found out before the rest of the players on Saturday.
I was shocked. I mean, which I'm sure everybody is. Y'all wouldn't be here if y'all weren't shocked either. But I was shocked. And then, you know, we had a long conversation, and it was just, you know, some emotions obviously going back and forth. But, you know, you sit down and you talk to him and you understand, you know, his decision.
Yeah, in one respect, this story is very unique. It's shocking in one respect, but in another respect, I don't want to say it happens all the time. It certainly doesn't happen all the time, but it's happened enough, whether it be an injury or a retirement, where a team loses a great player, and yet the team is galvanized and goes on to have a great season.
Still surreal, but obviously Andrew Luck is at peace with this. Frank Reich apparently is at peace with this. Fans, though, maybe not so much. A couple of the Colts with some strong words about those who booed Andrew Luck off the field Saturday night. That's coming up, all new in sports. For now, Dave First reporting live, RTV6 Sports.
That was an interesting reaction to see, Dave. We'll see you a little bit later here at 6.
Tonight, a 15-year-old boy is under arrest for Friday's double murder of a brother and sister on the northeast side. Metro Police arrested the teen just after 12:30 today. He is accused of gunning down 16-year-old Nicholas Nelson and his 15-year-old sister, Ashlyn Nelson, in their apartment Friday morning before school. The juvenile's name and photo have not been released, and RTV6 will only identify him if he is eventually charged as an adult. Police also did not release details about a motive.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast. And it's not a day to be without your umbrella. It's been wet all day, but at least it's warm out. We are on alert for the rain to continue. Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory spells out what's ahead. Hey, Kevin.
Periods of showers and thunderstorms, not an all-night rain. I'll show you when it's more likely for most of us. Some of the thunderstorms in the western portion of the state will carry a low risk for severe storms. That's really just for the next couple of hours. I think once we get closer to 9, that will diminish. Steady temperatures. Once the air is saturated, it's pretty difficult to move the temperature. Eastern half of the state drying out for now. Let's take a look at this little complex of thunderstorms. We've had some recent lightning with this. Williamsport and Attica. It will approach you. Lafayette from the southwest with some heavy rainfall. Also good soaking rain there right along US 40 north of Interstate 70 between Terre Haute and Brazil in Clay County. There is the area where there's a marginal or low risk for severe storms through mainly the next few hours, goes all the way down toward Terre Haute and Sullivan. Temperatures definitely impacted by the earlier rain in the eastern portion of the state around 70, western Indiana in the upper 70s.
A Hendricks County toddler has died after being left in a vehicle for several hours. This happened yesterday afternoon near Brownsburg. Investigators say the family came home from church and believed someone had taken the 21-month-old girl from her car seat and then put her down from a nap. The rest of the family, the parents and 4 siblings, eventually napped. And when they woke up, they started looking for the child and found her in the vehicle. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The sheriff's department said no criminal charges are anticipated.
Can the public trust this agency?
I believe they can.
Call 6 Investigates is holding a state veterans agency accountable after we found misused money meant to help struggling veterans. The Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs director has been on the job 6 months. So has he kept his word to make changes? Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny joins us now with why this is important. Kara.
Thanks, Amanda. Call 6 Investigates broke the story last fall about the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs giving thousands of dollars in relief funds to their own employees. This while the agency denied other veterans in need. Following our story, IDVA Director Jim Brown resigned, and numerous audits criticized the agency for lack of oversight. We sat down with the agency's new director to find out what he's doing about it. Dennis Weimer has been on the job since January 28th. He replaced Jim Brown, who stepped down in December after Call 6 Investigates questioned why IDVA allowed its own staff members to receive military family relief funds beyond the $2,500 limit. This while the agency denied other struggling veterans. Can the public trust this agency?
I believe they can.
You said you would make changes. Have you made changes?
We have. About 70% of the organization has changed. We have changed pay structures. We've changed reporting structures. We've changed roles, responsibilities, and in some places we've changed people. 3 top employees connected to the IDVA scandal resigned in May. Assistant Director Matt Vincent, Outreach Director Jeff Wirt, and Communications Director Adrian Bonner all stepped down. We've had a handful of folks who have moved on. Mike Thompson has just been named IDVA's new operations director. It's good to get those people that are very passionate about serving veterans into those roles. A new law signed following our investigation strips IDVA of its authority to approve grants for its own employees. Instead, the Veterans Affairs Commission has to review and approve those. We do our best when government is done in the public view.
And what was the biggest thing that stuck out to you where you're like, this has got to change, this isn't working?
It was the lack of communication both amongst staff and amongst the partners in the community. So that had to change. We had to invite them in. We had to understand what the needs are. The Air Force veteran has traveled the state to improve IDVA's relationship with veterans, veteran service groups, nonprofits, and other partners. The Military Veterans Coalition has criticized IDVA because they fought to get millions of dollars in state funding to help veterans with PTSD and traumatic brain injuries with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. However, the state failed to implement the program. We have contracts that have been signed, and right now what that team is doing is working to develop the right protocols to start bringing people in. So we should be able to start bringing people into the program here pretty soon. The governor also just signed a rule that will help IDVA implement a program to help homeless veterans, a program veterans say should have been implemented after the funding was secured in 2017. We're about ready to hit the street with it. Weimer's message to veterans in need? Ask for help. The director emphasizes he's not finished looking for ways to better help veterans in need. We've got an organization that's ready to move forward, and that's what we're beginning to do. And Weimer says he wants to focus more on why veterans are asking for relief funds in the first place and helping them solve the root problem. Mark.
Our Kara Kenny for us tonight. Thank you. Test scores from Indiana's new iLearn exams are expected to be low this year, and Indiana lawmakers want to make sure schools don't take the heat for it. Last year, Indiana moved from iStep to the iLearn test, and officials say there were some growing pains. The results aren't publicly available yet, but Governor Eric Holcomb has already called for schools to not be negatively impacted, such as with teacher evaluations and pay, which are tied to scores. The Indiana Senate and House would have to act early next year to make that happen, and it seems like they will. Both leaders of each chamber released statements saying they agree with Holcomb's request. The scores will be released September 4th.
The State Department of Education is taking action to suspend 3 Gary educators after a student with autism received the Most Annoying Award. It happened at Bailey Preparatory Academy on August 14th. The Indiana Department of Education filed formal complaints against teachers Alexis Harper and Crystal Beeks, as well as the building principal at the time, Carlita Royale. Now, the state is asking a judge to suspend the teachers' licenses for 6 months and a year suspension for the principal. IDOE says none of the educators took responsibility for their actions. A judge will now decide whether to accept or reject the state's request. We reached out to the teachers and school, and we are still waiting to hear back. We know it's still summer, but it's maybe time to start thinking about flu season.
That's right. We'll explain what's already happened elsewhere in the world that could indicate the flu might hit earlier than you might expect. That's next here at 6.
And the State Fairgrounds just finished hosting the State Fair. Just wait until you hear what is planned for the holidays.
And heaviest rain right now between Covington and Lafayette as it moves to the north and east. Got a little pocket here just northeast of Terre Haute. When sunshine returns to our forecast coming up.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Out of control, an SUV slammed into a 2-story building at the corner of East Washington and Keystone around 4 o'clock this afternoon, shutting down traffic in both directions. People living on the 2nd floor of that building were evacuated. It's not clear if the driver was injured.
With this dreary weather today, it's the perfect time to remind you about the upcoming flu season. RTV6's Stephanie Wade speaks with a health professional today who shares why it might come sooner than we think this year.
Doctors say it's never too soon to get the flu shot. The protection won't wear off before the end of flu season, and pharmacies like CVS are already offering them. Do you always get the flu shot?
Every time.
Why?
It tends to protect me and my family.
Are you planning on getting the flu shot?
No,
Why not?
because it never really helped me. And sometimes I get sick after the shot.
To vaccinate or not to vaccinate? You can always generate a pretty good debate with that question. One thing you can't debate, however, is that flu season is soon upon us.
It's around the corner.
The IU Health Special Pathogens Program Manager says flu season actually began 2 months ahead of schedule in Australia and New Zealand, which are typical indicators for how America will be affected.
So they hadn't even really vaccinated yet, and it hit hard and fast, and it impacted those that are most at risk, the people over 65 and kids under the age of 5, and those with, other health issues.
Another group who is at high risk of getting the flu, pregnant women. They can develop some of the most critical and life-threatening side effects. Doctors spent a lot of time examining what happened in Australia to see what type of viruses are circulating to make the best educated guess here, especially after last year's flu season, the longest we've had in a decade.
It started off just after the holiday time, which is typical, and it kind of peaked, and then it kind of went down a little bit, and then it really surged again. And what was interesting about that was it really 2 different viruses that came through that.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Thank you, Stephanie. And symptoms for the flu include fever, aches, chills, muscle pain, or joint pain. County health departments typically schedule special flu shot clinics in October.
Hiring Hoosiers is our commitment to sharing all types of job opportunities and training to help pick the career that's right for you. What if you could get a head start on college while you were still in high school? One of the Central Indiana schools offering that opportunity is Perry Meridian High School in Perry Township. Students can graduate with their high school diploma along with an associate's degree. The 2 programs offered give students the chance to gain some college credits or enough to get an associate's degree. But that does mean that they are taking college courses while they're still in high school, which can be intense. Around 400 students are part of the early college programs right now at Perry Meridian High School.
I saved around like $20,000 just taking these courses in high school because they're about $25 a credit hour. And compared to tuition at a college, that's a big deal.
The program is a partnership with Vincennes University, but the college credits earned and the associate's degree transfer to public institutions across the state of Indiana.
There will be a new attraction in Central Indiana for you and your family to check out this holiday season. Drive through Christmas lights at the Indiana State Fairgrounds that will host Christmas Nights of Lights from November 8th through January 1st. It's a 2-mile car ride through more than 1 million LED lights. It'll be offered every evening, rain or shine, including holidays. Cost is $7 a person, and children 3 and under are free. A carload special of up to 9 passengers is $30, and the RTV6 toy drive will benefit from a portion of the proceeds. Kevin.
Looking forward to that. Let me just show you what may become the national weather story by the end of the week. There is a tropical storm now, Dorian, that's well away from any threat of the U.S. at this point, but maybe by Saturday it would go through the Bahamas and then approach the southeast U.S. Right now, not forecast to be a hurricane at that point. For us, it's been a rainy day, almost an inch of rain. We're not done yet. We'll see periods of rain through at least mid-afternoon tomorrow. So I've got that 70% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Then Wednesday and Thursday, we break out of the pattern for a while. Sunshine returns, and the chance for thunderstorms will return, but it's a low chance as we move into the weekend. Show you radar, eastern portion of the state, eastern half of the state right now, drying out. You get a little break from the rain. One area of rain that's been a little more persistent has been between Covington and Lafayette. We've also got the rain that's east of Terre Haute now. Closer look at this downpour. Williamsport and Attica moving to the north and east will come into the Lafayette area from the southwest. Got some lightning associated with it. Keep our eyes on that. May have some 30-mile-per-hour gusts as well. This is collapsing right now along US 40 as it tries to move to the north and east. I think isolated thunderstorms will continue to be a greater risk in the western portion of the state this evening than eastern Indiana. Big temperature range too, 6 to 10 degree spread from 68 in Richmond to 78 in Terre Haute. Other temperatures in Indy at 73 degrees. Say hello to Sasha. Isn't she beautiful?
She is. A little puff.
I just realized today is National Dog Day.
Yeah.
So it is perfect that I'm taking Sasha for a walk during our forecast this evening. Temperatures will be steady, and we thank Valencia for sending in the picture of Sasha. Rain chances increase while you sleep. We'll wake up to a round of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow ahead of the cold front. May well last into the early part of the afternoon. 9 o'clock tonight, Lafayette, Kokomo, and Peru, some isolated thunderstorms. You see that little line there. Then as we go through the overnight, kind of expands, especially from, say, Sullivan to Indy and Muncie northwest. Eventually, that has to slide through all of central Indiana during the day tomorrow. That's why late morning into early afternoon, still some thunderstorms around with below average temperatures. But it is Wednesday when we'll look for the sunshine. There are your afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, and then we make a move toward cooler and drier air and nice conditions, especially Wednesday and Thursday. The chance for thunderstorms is low Friday and Saturday. Temperatures no warmer, as you can see, than around to 80 degrees. I think each time I stand here and make this prediction, it becomes more likely we won't hit 90 again. I'm not saying
you never know. You never know.
Look at that.
Right, thanks, Kevin. Now let's head back out to the Colts complex as the team begins the post-Luck era.
That's where Dave First and Brad Brown will join us now. Hey, guys.
Yeah, wondering if Kevin Gregory has a prediction on the number of wins the Colts will have now after all this.
See what the over-under is on that.
You know, you talk about the fans that are affected, obviously, by this move by Andrew Luck, but let's not forget about the players. Some of them obviously very close to Andrew.
And you go kind of beyond the football relationships here. There are some very deep people relationships that get developed, particularly between Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, his favorite receiver. T.Y. emotional as much as anyone today in the locker room.
Oh, it's been very tough. You know, that's my guy. He's my best friend. And it's hurt me. You know, not gonna lie, you know, take a toll on me. But, you know, I was able to have that heart-to-heart with him, the man-to-man, and, you know, and we talked. So I was cool with the decision. I was cool with it. And, you know, he's always gonna be with me.
Notice T.Y. wearing the Stanford hat today.
Oh, yeah.
I think we'll see a lot of that as the season goes on. He's dedicating the season to 12, as he has said often this weekend.
And as for the fans, after the game Saturday night, they let Andrew have it.
Starting to hear
hear the reaction of some of the fans.
Yeah, a little bit of everything after that. And perhaps the bottom line here, you can pin it on several things, but maybe there's a lack of transparency that the fans are not seeing from this organization. And I think that kind of built up a little bit.
This is the emotions of the moment, that this all really kind of snuck up on everybody all at once, and it's the guy like Andrew Luck that's this. Well, it hasn't snuck up now at this point on anybody here in the locker room, but there were definitely some strong feelings here today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was bullshit. It's just plain simple, man. That's a guy who's represented the city the way he has, represented football the way he did. The greatest team sport ever. I just thought it wasn't great.
The news was terrible, but you still do not boo a guy who gave so much for this community, and you see what he battled against, and it showed how tough he is. And for him to get booed his last time walking out there, field, it definitely sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. I mean, you don't want to hear that, but especially a guy like that who's done as much as he's done and what he's been through, and even before I got here and talking to him and hearing a lot of those stories, nah.
Definitely some camaraderie in the locker room regarding that today.
There's so many layers to all this, and this is going to have a ripple effect for really years to come out here at the complex. A couple other quick things. Michael Penix named the starter for IU this Saturday against Ball State. Richard Childress will drive the pace car in this year's Brickyard 400. For Brad Wright, I'm Dave First. The News at 6 continues after this quick timeout.
77. Discount.
Showers and some isolated thunderstorms just to the southwest of Lafayette. Just to make it easier to see, you can see a little pocket of heaviest rainfall. Williamsport, Attica, that will move to the north and east, certainly into the west central or southwest portion then of Tippecanoe County. Rain chances through the night will increase really toward tomorrow morning. Most likely time for thunderstorms the first half of tomorrow. A diminishing chance of rain tomorrow evening.
Up next here is World News.
Then we're back at 7. We'll see you then.